It's an unbelievable day for the Indiana Fever. Another step for our franchise, again, to make this the best franchise in.
As soon as the Indiana Fever announced their unstoppable plan to crown Caitlin Clark, the WNBA is in a panic. The league's biggest star in 2025. But let's face it, players like Sata Sabali and Kelsey Mitchell will also gain, since a $78 million investment is no joke.
Indiana Fever announced that they're going to open a new practice facility coming up before the 2027 season, but they're going to get their own facility now. And they showed the mock-ups online, and it's as you would expect, right? It's going to be state-of-the-art. It's going to be awesome.
The Fever views Clark as their future star and is prepared to put everything on the line to make sure she becomes the league's face. Clark has already shown her value by leading her team to unprecedented success, and Indiana is now stepping up to repay the favor.
CEO of Pacer Sports Entertainment, I couldn't be more excited for both our men's and our women's teams to have their own standalone practice facilities. I think it's expanding our campus in a great way. It's providing them everything they need to have the best performance that they can on the court. And I think it's absolutely the right time to do it.
The Fever has been busy building a dynasty with a $78 million investment. And while players like AJ Wilson and Angel Reed have wasted valuable time hating on Clark with nothing to show for it, they're also building a facility so advanced that, at 108,000 square feet, it will make the rest of the league appear to be stuck in the Stone Age. This place is much larger than any WNBA or even some NBA facility, and they're tired of being ignored and are making sure that no one can ignore them any longer.
All of the weight and conditioning equipment. Obviously, we'll have 2 full-size courts. It'll be available 24/7 for them to come and utilize it, but also just the best in recovery, the best in mental health, places for them to be able to also record content, podcasts, and other things that they may have to go off-site and waste time doing things like that. So they can really maximize their time spent focusing on their performance and not on other things.
And who is in the middle of everything? Caitlin Clark is the kind of player you can wager a whole franchise on, and the kind of generational talent you dream about. She has the talent, mentality, and appeal to make Indiana a powerhouse, and the Fever are making the most of it. This facility, which is expected to be completed by 2027, is more than simply an upscale fitness center. There are 2 full-size courts in the statement, infrared therapy rooms, advanced strength training zones, and recuperation regions. They seem to have considered every requirement an athlete may have for success, and they haven't stopped there. They're taking care of everything. Assistance for mental health, a nail salon, and even a podcast studio. The Fever is establishing new guidelines on how players need to be handled.
This is going to be the best in class when it comes to a women's professional training facility, and not just the day that it opens. We're going to set this up and think about this as the best in class.
The Fever plan goes beyond infrastructure. They're also taking calculated steps to encircle Clark with elite Aaliyah Boston's talent Kelsey Mitchell, and now they're targeting big names like Gabby Williams and Sata Sabali. This is about creating a team that doesn't just win, it dominates. Clark is the magnet, and the Fever knows it. They're using her presence and this brand new facility to entice the league's top players, and it's already working. The rest of the WNBA should be scared. Take Kelsey Mitchell, for instance, who was given a 1-year Supermax contract worth almost $250,000. She is the 6th player in club history to get such accolade, and she did it last season by averaging 19.3 points per game and demonstrating that she is not just a fantastic player, but also a key member of this team's future.
We finally got the news that we expected to hear all along for Kelsey Mitchell. We finally got the news, and it is that Kelsey Mitchell of the Indiana Fever has received the core designation. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell has been cored by the Indiana Fever.
Additionally, there is Sata Sabali, who departed Dallas, and the Fever is not wasting any time in attempting to get her. Sabali's 24-season stats are no laughing matter. She and Clark would be a nightmare for any opposing team, scoring 18.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 4.4 assists per game. The Fever also have the financial resources to support their goals, with $650,000 in cap space. more than enough to sign Sabali and still add another seasoned player to complete the roster.
Also, you're one of the top free agents in this year. So, I mean, do you have any ideas of what you might prioritize, or do you plan to stay in Dallas next season?
Yeah, I mean, I've already communicated with Dallas how grateful I am because they've made this a home for me for the past years, and I'm working with them together and finding a next home for me because I've already played my last game in Dallas.
Another player the Fever is pursuing is Gabby Williams, who is a perfect fit for Indiana's vision since she is adaptable, experienced, and a proven performer under pressure. She can protect the score in important situations and play any role. Her inclusion would provide the Fever with the depth they require to contend at the greatest level.
Quality depth is going to be important. When you have a core three like we have, surrounding them with players who are going to, fill the roles, certainly, first and foremost, who are going to embrace the roles, secondly, and who give us the best opportunities for success by complementing what they do really, really well.
Since Caitlin Clark joined the Indiana Fever, the team's attendance on the court has increased by an astounding fourfold, making them the most talked about team in the WNBA. With her game-changing vision and accurate passing, Clark's teammates appear to have improved overnight. Her partnership with Aaliyah Boston is also rewriting the playbook for the most dominant duos in WNBA history. Boston controls the paint like she owns it, while Clark's lethal perimeter game forces defenses to spread thin. Add Kelsey Mitchell to the mix, and you have a lineup that is already incredible. Now imagine adding someone like Sata Sabali to form a fab for that combined scoring defense and chemistry. It's not just a team, it's a dynasty in the making.
There's no reason why Kelsey Mitchell wouldn't want to play with the Fever. And we've basically seen the Fever posting about Kelsey Mitchell everywhere. So it's not like it's something that is unlikely, but it is going to be huge. And at this stage, it's trust the process. It's trust the organization.
Behind the scenes, Keith Porter, the player development coach for the Fever, has stated unequivocally that his objective is to make Caitlin Clark an unstoppable force. He is not only assisting her in becoming better, but also organizing her dominance, whether that be by increasing her shooting range, honing her ball handling skills, or getting her ready to counter every defensive tactic thrown at her. Porter makes sure Clark stays ahead of the game by emphasizing flexibility, which guarantees that Clark has a response for anything opponents try.
Everybody's like, how's Caitlin? How's Caitlin?
Oh.
The first thing I tell everybody, which is super cool about her, is being so young, right? Being 22, being so young, but also being so mature. Right, and it's the weirdest thing because it's almost you forget who she is because of how relaxed and reserved she is as a person. So it's until you go somewhere you're oh my god, the entire world wants to see you, right?
Until you see her.
However, the Fever isn't only focused on today; it's also preparing for the long haul. Caitlin Clark's contract is due to expire in 2028. While Boston's rookie agreement is scheduled to end in 2027. These dates are not coincidental. Rather, they coincide perfectly with the team's $78 million facility opening. By making these calculated moves, they are now locking in their stars and laying the groundwork for years of dominance. Lisa Leslie even praised this as an example of what investing in women looks like. The facility isn't just a place to practice. It's a game, share, and it's made to support players in every way possible, from state-of-the-art training and recovery areas to mental health services. A nail salon as well as a podcast studio in stark contrast to the circumstances at some other teams. Fever players will be working in a cutting-edge complex. This is about more than just basketball. It's about fostering an atmosphere where players can flourish in all facets of their lives. Others are forced to share practice courts with children. Birthday celebrations, the message is clear. The Fever are challenging the rest of the league to catch up with them as they set a new benchmark.
Caitlin on the rise.
Absolutely.
I think she's ready for that. She was already top 3-4 in voting last season.
Mm-hmm.
She's right there.
She's right there.
Because of the investments made on player facilities and a winning culture, the effects of these reforms extend beyond Indiana. Let's take a look at what this super squad may look like in the near future. The Fever is driving every other WNBA club to rethink how they play. It's about completely altering the game. The Fever's actions are increasing the standard for the whole league. Point, where Caitlin Clark is running Aaliyah Boston controlling the post, Kelsey Mitchell at shooting guard, and Sutta Solly as a versatile forward if they succeed. They're not just trying for a title, they're shooting for a dynasty, and they have the talent, the tools, and the vision to make it happen. That lineup is not just intimidating, it's historic. They have everything covered: leadership, playmaking, defense, and
you like
scoring.
being a two-way player. Like, you like playing both ends.
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that always been like that?
No.
So it's new. You just started to enjoy defense.
Yeah. I feel like I just enjoyed it.
Caitlin Clark's impact extends well beyond her on-court exploits. She is attracting new followers, creating buzz, and raising the league's profile. Her capacity to control games and draw in record-breaking crowds demonstrates why she is more than just a player. She is a cultural icon. The Fever's dedication to building around her isn't just clever, it's revolutionary. They're investing in their players, facilities, and future in a way that pushes every other team to step up with their talent, resources, and vision. They're not just planning to win games, they're planning to change the league forever. The rest of the WNBA better pay attention to this plan because it's a blueprint for total domination. The Fever are sending a clear message that they're not here to compete, they're here to win. Compare that to teams like the Connecticut Sun, where players must share their practice areas with birthday parties and yoga classes. If you're a member of another WNBA team, this should scare you because the Fever are demonstrating a true commitment to excellence. They're not taking shortcuts or doing the bare minimum. Instead, they're putting in their all, and it's already paying off. They're not just another team. They're a powerhouse in the making, and they're not waiting for anyone to catch up. They're raising the bar, and if you're not paying attention, you're already behind. In all honesty, it's about time someone shook things up like this, FV.